What if I told you that you could make 50% profit in 45 days by investing in postal coupons? Too good to be true, right? A charming Italian immigrant who promised to make his investors rich overnight. He was a master of deception who created the most notorious financial fraud in history. He was Charles Ponzi, the man who scammed the world with a simple trick. But how did he do it? And how did he get caught? In this video, we will explore how Ponzi managed to fool thousands of people with his scheme, how he was eventually exposed and arrested, and what lessons we can learn from his story. Charles Ponzi was born in Italy in 1882. He immigrated to the United States in 1903, hoping to achieve the American dream. He worked various jobs, but he was always looking for a quick way to get rich. He was also involved in some shady activities, such as forging checks and smuggling immigrants. Postal coupons were vouchers that could be exchanged for stamps in different countries. They were created after World War I to facilitate international mail. The idea was that you could buy a coupon in one country at a fixed price, and then redeem it for a stamp in another country at a different price, depending on the exchange rate. In 1919, Ponzi received a letter from a friend in Spain, who enclosed a postal coupon as a form of payment. Ponzi realized that he could buy coupons in countries with weak currencies, such as Italy or Spain, and then sell them in countries with strong currencies, such as the United States or Britain, for a profit. He calculated that he could make up to 400% profit by doing this. Before we head to how Ponzi set up his company, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Clever Crooks for more videos like this. Ponzi decided to turn his idea into a business. He founded the Securities Exchange Company in Boston in December 1919. He advertised his company as an investment firm that specialized in postal coupons. He claimed that he had agents all over the world who could buy and sell coupons for him. He offered investors a 50% return on their money in 45 days, or a 100% return in 90 days. He also promised that their money was safe and guaranteed by banks and trusts. Ponzi's offer was too good to resist for many people who were looking for easy money. The word spread quickly, and soon Ponzi had hundreds of investors lining up outside his office, eager to hand over their savings. Ponzi hired agents and paid them generous commissions for bringing in new customers. He also used some of his profits to buy newspapers and magazines, where he published glowing testimonials and endorsements from satisfied investors. He portrayed himself as a financial genius and a philanthropist who wanted to share his wealth with the public. Ponzi did not actually buy or sell any postal coupons. He simply used the money from new investors to pay off the old ones, creating the illusion of a successful business. This is known as a Ponzi scheme, named after him. As long as more money came in than went out, Ponzi could keep his scheme going. He also kept most of the money for himself, living a lavish lifestyle with expensive cars, clothes, and jewelry. He bought a mansion in Lexington, Massachusetts, where he hosted extravagant parties for his friends and associates. Ponzi's scheme was doomed to fail sooner or later, because it was based on a lie. There were several problems that threatened to expose him. The postal coupon market was too small and inefficient to support his claims. There were not enough coupons available in the world to generate the profits he promised. It would also take too long and cost too much to transport them across borders and exchange them for stamps. The authorities started to investigate him for possible fraud and tax evasion. They found out that he had no license to operate as an investment firm, that he had no assets or collateral to back up his guarantees, and that he had a criminal record in Canada and Italy. The media started to question him and expose his lies. Some journalists did their own research and found out that Ponzi's scheme was mathematically impossible and unsustainable. They also interviewed some of his former employees and associates, who revealed his shady practices and personality flaws. Ponzi tried to fight back against his critics and enemies. He sued some of the newspapers and magazines that accused him of fraud, claiming that they were trying to ruin his reputation and business. He also tried to reassure his investors and the public that his company was legitimate and profitable. He showed them fake financial statements and documents that supposedly proved his transactions and earnings. He also announced that he was expanding his business to other fields, such as banking, insurance, and mining, and that he was planning to create his own bank and currency. He hoped that these moves would attract more investors and divert attention from his postal coupon scheme. Ponzi's scheme finally collapsed in August 1920, when he could no longer pay off his investors or cover up his lies. There were several events that triggered his downfall. The Boston Post published a series of articles that exposed Ponzi's scheme in detail, based on interviews with experts and insiders. The articles revealed that Ponzi had no real business, that he owed millions of dollars to his investors, and that he was under investigation by the federal government. The Massachusetts Bank Commissioner ordered a bank run on Ponzi's accounts, freezing his assets and preventing him from accessing his funds. The bank run also caused a panic among his investors, who rushed to withdraw their money from his company. The U.S. Attorney General filed charges against Ponzi for mail fraud, accusing him of using the postal service to defraud his customers. The charges carried a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison. Ponzi was arrested and put on trial for mail fraud. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. He was also sued by the state of Massachusetts for civil fraud, and ordered to pay back $7 million to his investors. However, he had no money left to repay them, as he had spent most of it on himself or lost it in the bank run. He declared bankruptcy and was left penniless. After serving his federal sentence, he was deported back to Italy in 1934. He tried to start new schemes in Italy and Brazil, but failed miserably. He died in 1949 in a charity hospital in Rio de Janeiro, poor and forgotten. Charles Ponzi was the mastermind of one of the biggest scams in history, involving millions of dollars and thousands of people. He used postal coupons as a cover for his fraudulent scheme, which promised huge returns on investments in a short time. He paid off his old investors with the money from new ones, creating a false impression of success. He lived a luxurious life with his ill-gotten gains, until he was exposed and arrested by the authorities and the media. He spent the rest of his life in prison or exile, dying in poverty and obscurity. Ponzi's story teaches us some valuable lessons about money, greed, and human nature. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. There is no such thing as a free lunch or a get-rich-quick scheme. Anyone who offers you such a deal is likely trying to scam you or take advantage of you. Do your own research before investing your money or trusting someone with your finances. Don't rely on hearsay, testimonials, or advertisements. Check the facts, figures, and sources for yourself. Look for evidence, not promises. Be careful who you associate with or work for. Don't let your emotions or desires cloud your judgment or ethics. Don't be swayed by charisma, charm, or flattery. Don't be afraid to ask questions or challenge authority. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting and informative. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to Clever Crooks for more videos like this. Also, feel free to share your thoughts or questions in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. See you next time.